Hey everyone, and welcome back to another one of my sketchbook flip-throughs. Today we're going through this tiny thing. As you can see, it's pretty small. It's about the size of my hand. Actually, it is the size of my hand. It's 4.5 by 6.5, and it's just one of those cheap hardcover sketchbooks that you could get at your local art store. Let's open this up. This one I named A.K.A. after the legendary Canadian studio that blessed the world with its masterpiece Eddy and Eddy by Antonucci, and that is actually going to be one of the major themes of this entire sketchbook, so keep an eye out for that one. We start off with this cartoony girl, and we jump right on into Eddy and Eddy with Big Ed from the cast. And these are just pen practice drawings. I actually did this at a car center because waiting is just a terrible thing. And it was funny because I noticed that people were trying to discreetly look into my sketchbook because they were curious about what I was drawing. And it's times like this when I realized that, not everybody draws as much as us artists do. Like carrying around a sketchbook with you and randomly whipping it out and drawing casually into it as if that's nothing. That's not a normal behavior for most people. So. Because I think everybody has a degree of creativity in them, but not everyone chooses to pursue art seriously. Some people don't even draw at all. Some people don't even like to draw, so not everybody are artists. It's not a normal thing to be doing this, so yeah, that happens. That was a thing. This is, we get back on track with Eddy and Eddy. Double D in particular was really difficult for me to draw, whereas Eddy, I had this phase when I was little where I watched Fairly Odd Parents religiously. I was obsessed. I would draw a bunch of Timmys and Cosmos and Wandas, and just Eddy's facial features, like his facial construction, is very compatible with a lot of the Fairly Odd Parents characters, so it was kind of like remembering how I did things back then. But like going back in time, it was really fun. Yeah, some more of me trying to figure out the style, trying to ease into it. Double D with his taped on mustache. Yeah, I just love how the artists kind of treated the characters. Like they would stretch and like squash them to like new extremes. It was just crazy, and I love this so much. And Eddy, you need to find your chill. Yeah, some more double Ds, and just look at this. Like there's just so much intent behind every single expression, every single action, and everything was just exaggerated to crazy levels. Yeah, I loved it. The show was just insane. It had this like really kind of an offbeat sense of humor. They would incorporate random sound effects. So like there will be like monkey sounds when Ed is doing something, or like a donkey brain. Just really fun. Yeah, I really like this one. That's really cool. Yeah, here we go. And they would exaggerate everything, even anatomy. Well, of course, it's a cartoon. So you can see the edge of the mouth here, but the cheek and the ears are over here. So like, what is happening? The mouth is like going towards his skull, whereas like the cheeks are like underneath. Like what? But that's okay. It's a cartoon. Anything is possible. That's what's so fun about it, I guess. Look at that. More of those. Yeah, the physical gags in this show was just like out of this world. And oh man, like that. Are you guys getting this? I feel like Steve Irwin just flipping through these pages and going, crikey, look at the size of that one. Yeah, I'm just looking at these drawings. These are the studies, by the way. Like, imagine how much energy the originals would have had. Like, boy, I like that one. Yeah, just look at that. It's crazy. Rolf, one of my favorite characters. Yeah, they actually tied a double D into a knot. Like, who does that? That's just genius. A lot of designs. I love their shape language and clarity in their designs. Oh man, Rolf. Here's Naz. Oh, and I like this one. Ow! Yeah, there's just so much life in these drawings. I could almost imagine like Eddy kind of like moving out of the page. I just get so excited when I see this kind of stuff. Like the sense of humor and energy is just contagious. So I get pretty hyped up when looking at their drawings. A.K.A. Studio. These are just furry girls. I wanted to draw a bunch of like Pomeranian girls, so I'm like, okay, I'll do that. Some cartoony girls, more cartoony girls, another cartoony girl. Those aren't cartoony girls. This is Hurricane, my Saiyan, another one of my Dragon Ball characters. She is a Saiyan. I'll get more in depth with her on other sketchbooks. Like all my Dragon Ball characters are like everywhere, so you'll see more of them. There's plenty of time for more exposition. Here is a Puri. If you remember one of Frieza's soldiers, his name was Apul. You know, Apul from apple and a Puri from apricot. So yeah, they're kind of the same species. And here I decided to do some inking, and I could have made my life much easier by just picking up a brush pen and just going at it, but no, that's too easy. So I picked up a ballpoint pen instead, and I actually drew out the lines and just filled it in because I apparently hate myself. Same thing for this one. Here's Cammy. Yeah, this was around the time when I decided that, hey, I actually want to make Cammy younger, and the idea kind of stuck. Yeah, some more stuff from my imagination. A lot of these are freehand, freestyle. Like, I don't even know how to describe them. Just drawing straight up from my mind without any references or whatever, because that's really fun. Here's Moose from Mustard. I like this drawing. It really captures his personality a lot. Some silhouettes. More silhouettes. This is a new character. For now, things might change, but for now, she is a member of Jace's race from the Ginyu Force. Yeah, some more silhouettes. More silhouettes. And here's Karak. He's kind of like the twin brother of Colas, I guess. That's one way of saying it. Yeah, more Karaks. And just like some half-assed storyboard. I wasn't even thinking when I was drawing these. And more Karak and Moose. I like this page a lot. Look at that. This really represents their relationship very well. And I really want to redraw this one. Like, it was a complete failure, as you can see. But yeah, I kind of want to redraw this one, have the three of their faces kind of like smushed up together. It's just really fun to draw these three. And yeah, Lantro is just like a really happy and like peppy kid. And I don't know how he does it, because he is a child mercenary soldier. You know, that's not a kind of a profession where people are happy all the time. So Lantro, what is wrong with you? Sometimes I think it's just like his way of coping and then things just get really depressing all of a sudden. Some more of those three. And here's Kot, another character. More Kot. And here's Cammy. I like you know, the neck connection is pretty awkward, but I like the kind of a silhouette and the shape that this pose kind of creates. More Cammy. And Apuri and Kot, because, you know, apricot. They kind of have this weird pseudo relationship going on, but they're also enemies, so I don't know where I'm gonna go with that. Here's Piccolo and Rorota, just like a terrible drawing, but that's okay. There's more of those on other sketchbooks. Some more doodles. I just like to doodle a lot, like nonchalantly. That face looks really swollen. Ugh. some Lantro and Hurricane, Hurricane and Karak, Hurricane and Karak. I like this one a lot. Yeah, Apuri is just like this, he's kind of like a tsundere older brother. He's the oldest one out of all of them and like the most responsible, but like, you know, that's kind of funny because when you look at him, he doesn't really exude the notion that like, hey, I am a responsible person. Yeah, and here are some prop designs from Will Terrell. He is here on YouTube, so I totally recommend you guys go check him out. He's awesome. He does all these like caricatures. He's known for a comic artist, I think, mainly. Yeah, he's really fun. And I really like the sort of retro vibe that he was going for with these designs. And just really expressive and fun. I love the shape language and contrast. And you know, like these are just inanimate objects, these are prop designs, but like I love how a lot of them have a lot of personality and even a story to tell. Like this one, I imagine that this pigeon landed here like expecting a banquet and all he finds is like a crumpled up soda can, so maybe he got angry, like what is this? So he pooped in protest. Some chairs, more chairs. Yeah, these are really cool. I think these are from Gravity Falls. More of those Gravity Falls stuff. And we got into Edit and Eddy, background and layouts studies. You know, just doing a bunch of copy studies, especially when you are a beginner artist, like when you are young and like just starting out, like that's gonna help you develop your draftsmanship. But eventually you really want to understand the fundamentals behind everything. Like you really want to know the basics and the theories and rules behind everything. So you want to know your perspective, you want to know your composition, you want to know color theory, anatomy, just everything, rendering. Because the more you know, like you have to know the basics. Like you have to. You can't just copy things and like expect to improve or like be able to do everything on your own. And plus, when you really know the basics, when you really know the rules, then you can really start to appreciate and understand the kind of choices and the statements that the artists were making. So it's really fun. Like you get to kind of get into the artists' heads and like analyze what they were going for. Oh, this is one of my favorite pages. This is from that episode, that Christmas episode, where we find out that Johnny 2x4 brings in the winter home. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's just crazy. You should see it. It's really funny. I'm not sure if this is showing up right on camera. Yeah, it's as if like the characters in this show have like so much energy that like they have to like let go of it somehow, and like they kind of take it out on the environments. So you see a bunch of like broken like and shattered stuff, and like it's just everything is just so chaotic, and I really appreciate that. You know, being a Dragon Ball fan and all, seeing a lot of like destroyed environments. You know, that's just the way I like it. So yeah, that's that. All these studies, and we get into some storyboards. These were actually warm-ups. So just waking up, like barely awake. I'm like, do you know what time it is? It's time to do some action storyboards, and my body is like, no. But you know, like there's just so much options when you kind of like hate yourself and you don't mind making yourself suffer. Yeah, these are fun to do. Well, fun is a subjective word. Yeah, just a lot of these storyboards. Some of them didn't make the cut. Some of them I had to go back and fix digitally. But yeah, just casually whipping out a bunch of action storyboards because like why the heck not? First thing in the morning. Here's get back into Edit and Eddy. Yeah, they're just so expressive and fun. Even the composition is fun. Oops. Look at that line of action. Oh gosh. Oh, I like this one a lot. I kind of like the slinky sort of effect that they gave his body. Like, again, they exaggerate everything. They exaggerate weight and gravity and anatomy, and I don't know, it's just really fun to see. Oh, this is from the sumo episode. You know that sound effect, like, sumo no! I just thought that was like the funniest thing ever. And we get into some storyboard studies from Ed and Eddy. A lot of these are from the Big Picture show. If you have not seen the Big Picture show, you have to go see it. It's like, I can't imagine a better way they could have ended the series. And this is from that episode where Jimmy and Sarah asks all the kids, like, where do babies come from? And Naz, of all people, she's the only one who really understands. And, you know, she starts giggling uncontrollably because, you know, when you're like 13 or 14, like, the concept of sex is just like the funniest thing ever. And I love the contrast with Kevin. Like of all people, like, you'd expect Kevin to know, but he doesn't know. Like, he's just so clueless and innocent, and it's just really funny. He's like, babies? I don't know, dude. Where do babies come from? Yeah. It's adorable. Here are more Apuri and Apuri, Moose, and Montreux. I made Montreux's head just like way too big. He looks like he's gonna like topple over any second. Just trying to look into the character relationships and interactions. Yeah, that's really accurate. So Apuri, he's the most sensible one. He's the one with the most common sense, whereas Moose is just brain smart. Moose is just book smart. He's just intelligent. And here are just some more stuff from my imagination. I just drew a line of action and I'm like, how can I turn that into a human figure? So the same thing went for this one. And yeah, more. Oh man. I could, if I really wanted to, I could take this into Photoshop and like just bring Apuri up a little bit and like shrink him and like just redraw that horrible face of his. Because otherwise this looks alright, somewhat decent. Like, and here's older Apuri. His design really isn't set in stone, thank God, so there's room for changes. And Rhoda sleeping on a couch, and Rhoda has a pet Marimo. He has a pet Marimo, and he loves it very much. And yeah, Rhoda just has a bunch of pets. He has a lot of sharks. One's name is Josephine, but one day he realizes that Josephine is actually a dude. So Josephine goes from Josephine to Josephino. So I don't know, like Rhoda is just a lonely kid. He kind of like Piccolo and Muten Roshi don't really like him going out all that often, so he's kind of confined to like Kame House in the island in the middle of nowhere. And sometimes when he's been a good boy, he gets to hang out at Kami's Lookout with Piccolo and Dende and Popo, but like that's another island in the middle of the friggin' sky, so he really doesn't have much of an option. He doesn't even have friends his age. So yeah, like what else can he do? He does martial arts, like he paints and like draws a lot, but there isn't really much for him to do, poor kid. And he likes to collect things a lot too. He collects like animal skulls, fossils, seashells, stuff like that, and some really quick study thing of Kami's Lookout. And this is, I kind of wanted to do storyboards, but like a few moments later I didn't really want to do storyboards, so that's why they look so half-assed. And yeah, Rhoda doesn't like sleeping in bed, so he was sleeping like the weirdest places ever. Like he's kind of like a cat, and it drives Piccolo insane. Piccolo's like, you have 2 beds available for you, and yet you choose to sleep on a roof. What is wrong with you, kid? Yeah, it's just really fun to see them interact. And some storyboards. These are much smaller. Not small enough that I would call it like a thumbnail, but pretty small compared to my other storyboards. So just struggling to figure out how to draw smaller, because a lot of my sketchbooks are around the size of like 11 by 8, so this one it was pretty challenging, like trying to like cram everything into this tiny ass space. Yeah, that was a challenge. And I actually recommend it. You know, you want to be flexible. So if you tend to draw large, I totally recommend like breaking up the rules now and then and like getting a really tiny sketchbook. And it's just a really convenient size. You can carry it around anywhere and just like bring it out whenever you feel like drawing. So yeah, that's something you can do. Anyway, thanks for watching. More sketchbooks. Again, they're all lined up. They'll be here soon. So for those of you who are waiting, I thank you for your patience. And yeah, thanks for watching again. I hope you have a great day, and see you next time. Bye.